Hi everyone. Do you know about hemorrhoids or piles? Is it okay to take castor oil to clean my stomach? What is the basic difference between the purgatives, laxatives and catheters? To know all this answer for this, so today we are going to discuss about the topic catheters. Catheters are the agents which will increase the bowel movement in a drastic way. So, first we will see like what is the difference between this catheter, laxatives and purgatives. Okay. So, purgatives are said to be the mild laxatives. So, these have very little effect on the peristaltic movement. So, coming to the laxatives, so this softens the stool. So, if the stool becomes very hard, so that cannot be moved. So, here is going to be soften the stool. Example, magnesium hydroxide, milk of magnesia. So, here catheters, these are very potent agents. These are going to be stimulate the peristaltic movement, resulting the entire contents of the rectum is going to be expelled. Defecation is going to be take place. So, here see like what the basic use of these catheters. So, here the constipation is one of the major problem which is caused due to the medication which you take or the stress because of the age related problems. Okay. So, here a number of the problems are associated with this constipation. So, constipation can be categorized into two categories, acute and chronic. So, acute in the sense when you have taken high content of the protein, where the fiber is not there in your food. So, obviously, the bowel movement is going to be decreased. Or if you are in journey, you are traveling somewhere and you will not find the hygienic bathrooms and all, lavatories and all. So, that results you will try to control the movement of the peristaltic movement. So, that causes the acute constipation. Okay. That can be all by itself is going to be cleared, no need of taking need to take the medication. So, here coming to the chronic constipation. So, this is because of the physiological disturbance, maybe because of the malignancy or frequently using certain category of the drugs that decreases the peristaltic movement. Okay. So, maybe anticholinergic drugs. So, all these include in this particular section. So, here to treat this category of this chronic constipation. So, here we will use 4 different categories of the drugs. Okay. So, before going to these drugs, well, let us discuss like what is the basic use of these catheters. So, here the rectal diseases and hemorrhoids. Hemorrhoids are nothing but, so here there will be blood vessels are going to be present. So, which will enhance the absorption of the water. So, even some of the drugs, suppositories can be inserted through the rectal route, so that the drug can be absorbed from here. Okay. So, because some of the other reasons, so here there is a irritation is going to be take place because of the frequent disturbance at this particular area, that causes the puncturing of these blood vessels, and we can see the blood in fecal matter. Okay. To control this, so here this particular situation is called as piles or hemorrhoids. Okay. So, for the treating for the rectal diseases and the hemorrhoids. So, when there is a hard stool is formed, so it is difficult to pass through this. So, it will rupture the walls of this rectum. So, that obviously causes the damage at this particular area. So, here what we do is we will try to soft the stool, so that we can the passage can be smooth. So, normally catheters can be used in rectal diseases, intestinal parasites. So, here the Ascaris lumbricoides or Entamoeba histolytica, all these agents. Okay. So, because these agents will forcefully evacuate this bowel. So, along with this fecal material, this worms also is going to be expelled. And in case of the hypertension, cardiac diseases, those elderly people who are suffering with the cardiac and hypertension, so they cannot put much pressure on this particular area. Okay. So, if they put pressure, obviously because of the hypertension there is a significant damage may happen. So for those individuals we use these catheters. Next, for the acute constipation and emotional stress, for the diagnosis, X-ray and surgery. Say for example, some abnormal growth is there in the small intestine. If you want to locate that particular area, so we first we have to clean entire the contents in the small intestine or large intestine. Okay, so for that we will use enema or endoscopy, or this for that we have to clean the entire gastrointestinal tract. So for that it is used. So here we will discuss one by one the types: bulk forming, stimulant, emollient and osmotic catheters. So bulk forming in the sense these agents is in the presence of water is going to be swell, and it will increase the bulkiness of the fecal material. So here normally methyl cellulose or agar agar will be used. So these are polysaccharides, so which cannot be digested. So what happens? So is going to be absorbed in the absorbed water in the large intestine, and is going to be form bulkiness of the fecal matter. So when it bulkiness is increased, automatically the peristaltic movement is going to be stimulated. So thereby the contents can be expelled from the large intestine. Okay, so for that normally we will use sphagnum. So here we will soak in the water and we will take here the thing is again the same thing. These are going to be increase the water content of the fecal material. Next we will go for the stimulant catheters. Stimulants, name itself indicates, is going to be stimulate your peristaltic movement. So these are basically bitter agents that stimulate the peristaltic movement, which will enhance the defecation. Okay, example senna, castor oil, rhubarb. Next we will go for the emollient or lubricant. So lubricants are the agents which will facilitate easy passage of the stools. Okay, here these are the viscous non-absorbing substance used as a emollient. Example mineral oil, liquid paraffin, glycerol. Next we will go for the osmotic or saline catheters. So these agents are hypertonic in nature. These agents are hypertonic in nature. So and it's sparingly soluble in water. So because it's sparingly soluble in water, it cannot absorb. So and most of the content we will find in the lumen. Okay. So and since it is a hypertonic solutions, so fluid is going to be dragged towards this lumen. So that leads to the soften the stool and helpful for the easy passage. Okay. So for examples are magnesium sulfate and sodium orthophosphate. So here magnesium sulfate magnesium sulfate, so which will get it so here the properties preparation is magnesium carbonate. By treating with the sulfuric acid, we can prepare this magnesium sulfate. So dolomite is a natural compound which will obtain from the mineral source. So here dolomite is nothing but the magnesium combination of magnesium carbonate and calcium carbonate. So this is one of the important question which will come for your competitive examination. What is the formula of this dolomite? Okay, dolomite, if you treat with the sulfuric acid, so calcium sulfate is going to be get precipitated and magnesium sulfate can be easily filtered. Okay, properties: it's a colorless crystal, cool, saline bitter taste. So it can be done, it can be assayed by the complexometric titration. Assay in the sense we want to find out what is the actual concentration of the magnesium sulfate present in your sample. Okay, that is said to be the assay. Complexometric. So we titrate magnesium sulfate with 0.05 molar disodium EDTA, which forms magnesium EDTA as a complex. So here we use modern black 2 as an indicator, which produces ultimately deep bluish color. So here the each ml of 0.05 molar of disodium EDTA is equivalent to 0.00602 grams of magnesium sulfate. So this is how we can assay the compound. Next we will go for the sodium orthophosphate. Sodium orthophosphate. So here we can prepare by using sodium carbonate by treating with the phosphoric acid. So here the sodium of disodium phosphate can be treated with sodium hydroxide and we can prepare this. So this is also can odorless, colorless and act as a osmotic catheter. So apart from this, so we have the adsorbents called as kaolin and bentonite. So, this is particularly useful for the amoebic dysentery, and it will form a thick protective layer on the small intestines, which will enable the growth of the bacteria and protozoa. So, here the kaolin is aluminum and aluminum and sulfur dioxide. This is the combination Al2O3, 2SiO2 and water. So, bentonite, so this is pale buff color. So, this is instead of here 2 is silicon dioxide, we will have 4 silicon dioxide moieties. So, this is called as bentonite. Okay. So, this is how we are going to treat with the patients who are suffering with the constipation. Okay. Hope this video is useful. Thank you.